It was in 2008, during the presidential election, when I went back to my studio and I felt discouraged about what was happening in our country, and that's when I had an experience that helped me to envision this painting in a pretty bold way. I knew what I had to paint, and I knew that I had one chance to paint it, and it had to be done right. The painting was One Nation Under God. And it took me about 6 months of research to gather up all my information, the history on the different people, and about 5 months to paint the picture. And as I went through that process of painting One Nation Under God, it was very overwhelming what it meant to be one nation under God, and how the country would respond to this. And, you know, it's something that you hear a lot. I mean, it goes back to the Pledge of Allegiance. You know, that's when they first started using that phrase.
One nation.
But as I painted the picture and I saw Christ holding the Constitution and all the different Americans and where we stand as a country, it made me realize that really our country right now is at a tipping point where people are making choices that are going to determine the future of our children and our grandchildren. And so I felt like this was an important message that needed to be stated. I discovered that the painting was also kind of like a mirror for people. You know, the way they would respond to the painting often would reflect their own personal views about the country and about God. It was fascinating to watch it. This painting is going to change America. It's going to make people think about what's happening. And I want everybody to be familiar with this painting. They're going to love it or they're going to hate it. And if they don't understand it, they're going to find out what it means. There's a lot in this painting, a lot of meaning, a lot of symbol, and there is some personal history that I'd like to share with you about how this painting came about. First of all, let me give you a basic understanding of what's going on in this picture. In the center, we have Jesus Christ holding the U.S. Constitution, and that's very important because what it's saying is that I believe this is an inspired document. And the great country that we have today, I believe, would not be here if it wasn't for the principles and the guidelines set forth in the Constitution. It's created an environment that has allowed our country to blossom and grow and succeed and bless the lives of millions of people, not only in our country, but across the world. And so I feel very strongly about that. Right here we have Thomas Jefferson, and he's holding up the rolled Declaration of Independence. And the Declaration of Independence was crucial to being able to have the Constitution. I don't think we would have the Constitution if we had not had the Declaration of Independence first. And in there he talked about the importance of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Behind Jefferson, on one side, we have George Wythe, who was his mentor. And George Wythe, you know, actually trained a lot of the early founding fathers. So here we have Roger Sherman, and him, along with Robert Livingston, are two of the founding fathers who helped Thomas Jefferson to write the Declaration of Independence. They're part of the Committee of Five, and two of the great founding fathers. Right now, our country is in a kind of an interesting predicament. You know, our country is very divided, if you haven't noticed. And it's almost like we're at a tipping point right now. People are making decisions of what they believe to be true or not to be true. And so the painting has a very strong message, and that is that we need to support the principles of the Constitution in the form of limited government and controlled spending. And so on this side of the painting, we have some of the living Americans that are supportive of the Constitution and what it stands for. On this side of the painting, we have those who I consider more confused as to what the Constitution's value is and their place in America. So the painting has a very strong message, and I'm hoping that that message, through the use of metaphor and symbolism, will help people to think about how they feel about our country. I would encourage everybody who gets one of these prints to put it in a place where others are going to see it, whether it's hanging on the wall of your room, at home, in an office, at school, on a locker, whatever it is. It's going to spark conversation, and I feel that it's important that we be willing to talk about what it means to be one nation under God. That's become kind of a taboo thing lately, especially among certain circles. And I want to wave that flag from the highest point in every school and everywhere we go, because that's a message that our country needs. That's the strength of America. And I think that if we push that aside and go about our business, we're going to miss what is very special to this country. And so I hope that you will want to share this with everyone you know in every way. And I'm excited about the fact that we were able to put these giveaway cards, these 5x7s, because that way you can share them with your friends. Those are freebies that come in the package. That's amazing. I can't even sell them for that much, So they're going to give those away for free, and you can share them with your friends. This is what it's all about. America needs to stand up right now for what we believe.